I guess I could tell you something about the project. I probably already told you. I don't know. The beginning was just all ad lib stuff, playing whatever I felt like, trying to stay in the key signature. The guitar part. Oh, it was tuned to a D suspended fourth chord. I got it out of a book. It's called a D modal tuning. I don't know why it's modal. It's just a suspended fourth chord. But anyway, I did that part, and it was a piece of clay on the floor. It must have been from the kitty box, from the litter box. Whiskers must have had it between her toes. It just dropped out on the floor. That's nasty. I don't want any kitty box clay up here. Oh well. See, what was the next part? I'm having trouble thinking. Let's see, there's a guitar part. And originally, I was just going to have one guitar part. And I've got the synthesizer, so you hit the key and it plays 16th notes, the now 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 thing, the droning thing over and over. And basically, I started off playing the D string over and over on the guitar and playing that other part over top of it, but it got so I couldn't keep the rhythm steady and I kept messing it up. So then I just decided to get the synthesizer to do it for me, and it worked out a lot better. And I recorded a track of that, and then I decided I didn't like it very well, so I rewound the tape on the 4-track and switched to a different track and recorded it again without listening to the first one. And I went back and listened to it and I liked that, and then I went and listened to it again. I listened to both of them at the same time accidentally. And I decided that they sounded pretty good together, even though they're slightly out of phase with each other. But at first I said, well, that's not going to work. They're out of phase. But then I decided it would be a nice weirdo kind of eclectic kind of a thing that Ziegler would like. So I left it in there, and he liked it. So there's that. That was an accident, but it sounds good now. And that's the only doubled guitar part. The rest is just a one part, and then it goes into the keyboard thing, and then I got the piano is the piano in my living room. I got two good microphones out of the studio and mic'd that, and recorded on that, and then I used the Rickenbacker bass guitar for this simple little bass part. And I wasn't going to have any bass guitar on it originally, but then I listened to that piano part, and that piano part just went on and on and on. It was so mundane, and the bottom end seemed kind of lacking, so I put the bass part in there. And then I just kept the bass part going through the next synthesizer part, right after the piano part, and probably my favorite part. The piano part was really too longer than it should have been. I just kind of got into this safe little chord progression, and I did it one too many times. But then I didn't have the. It would have been too hard to go back and shorten it because I recorded other things along with it, and I was running out of time, so I just left it like that. So then the very last day, I went back and I put that choir voice that comes in over top of the piano part to try and thicken that section up, because that section just was kind of going on and on and on with just the piano, and even the bass helped a little bit, but not enough. So I put that's a patch from the Mirage sampling keyboard in the studio. It's supposed to be a church choir or something sampled. So I put that on there to try and liven that part up. And but anyway, my most favorite part is the pipe organ part. I did that with I used the sequencer on the Mirage, and I played the right hand part once into the sequencer, and then I just hit the sequencer, and it started playing over and over. And then I used both hands in the bass, and played these nice massive bass chords. And I used 3 different pipe organs. so I can have this massive, huge synthesized pipe organ. I used a pipe organ sample on the Mirage, and I used a pipe organ patch from the whatchamacallit, the Oberheim, and I used this pipe organ. I used this kind of solo pipe organ kind of a sound that I made up on the Casio. It's just kind of supposed to sound like a upper register solo pipe voice, and I added that in there, and it's kind of nice because the patch on the Mirage has built-in bass pedals on the left hand. It's a split patch, and it's got built-in bass pedals so that whenever you play one note, you get an octave below it. So that thickened it up, and I hooked them all up through MIDI, and I had the sequencer drive all 3 keyboards at the same time. So I just turned the volume. I had them all hooked up through MIDI, and I turned the recorder on, and I had all the volumes down except for the Mirage, and I hit the switch on the sequencer, and it started playing. And then I just faded in the other 2 keyboards with their volume knobs, and just to kind of add, I'd wait a couple measures and add a keyboard, then wait another measure and add the last keyboard, and get this nice massive pipe organ patch. And I guess you could call it an ostinato. I'm not sure if that's the right term, but the right hand part that goes over and over again. It's just the sequencer going. And then when I get to the last 4 bass notes, I had a foot switch set up to turn the sequencer on and off with. And so when I got to the last 4 bass notes, the right hand part changes at the very end to end the song, and so it can switch from A minor to C. So I just hit the sequencer and turned the sequencer off and started playing along with the part right when I turned the sequencer off, and so I could end it differently. And it took me a couple of tries to get it smooth, to get the transition smooth, but it worked out pretty good. And then the last part, I just I put in the Mirage sequencer. It's got enough memory. I just put that in there, and just did that over and over and over, and faded it out with the fader control on the 4-track. And originally that was going to be with a vibraphone kind of sound, but then there were all kinds of things that were originally going to be on this project and got left out. It's kind of weird. Originally it was going to be a lot more piano than it turned out to be, and hardly any guitar was going to be on there, and no bass was going to be on there, and the vibraphone was going to be in place. Actually, that very end part was one of the very first things I came up with, and that was going to be vibraphone, kind of a bell, kind of a sound, bell and vibraphone together, and that was going to be, I'd already decided that was going to be the end of it, but it was going to be mostly piano, and then that was going to come in, but then the whole thing changed. So maybe I can find those ideas somewhere else and put them in another song, I don't know. I had all these other chord progressions worked out, but they all got dropped because they sounded kind of stupid with the other things I'd worked out. But anyway, there it is. I liked it a lot better than the other one I did. Even though the transitions between the different parts are kind of forced most of the time. Some of them are okay, but some of them are really, they sound like 2 different songs. Okay, so there's my final project, which I got an A on. I think he liked this better than the other one, because we got an A minus on the last project, the guitar project. I guess it was a little bit too normal sounding. It was too conventional Western musical sounding. It wasn't weirdo electronic music sounding enough, and this one had, I don't know, maybe he didn't really care about whether it was weird sounding or not. Maybe he just wanted a lot of synthesizer, and this one had a lot of synthesizer and the other one didn't. I don't know, but he seemed to like this one better. He put a lot of, he writes little comments on the scores at the end, and this one This one he just wrote a short little thing about very good project, nicely done, blah blah blah. And the other one he wrote a lot of questions. He said nice project, nicely done, but then he wrote these questions about what did you discover from your piece? What ideas did you get? How's the piece a creative effort for you? What new avenues did you explore? These considerations are important. And then you went A minus. So I guess he didn't think we got creative enough. It was too conventional sounding or something. I don't know. Oh well.